Tonight the Stars Revolt by Gardner F. Fox, originally published in Planet Stories, March 1952. Read by Jon Gill. Part 21. The city stayed quiet for 5 days. On the morning of the Night of the Serpent, it exploded with energy. Men and women, in masks and costumes, paraded and sang. They drank and danced, and the citadel brooded down on them. The day wore on. Tandor and Angus were busy, keeping some semblance of order in their fighting crews, keeping the men from the wine barrels, readying them for their assignments. Tandor went stalking into the taverns and the wine shops with heavy hands, striking out as he walked, often upending an unfortunate into a wine tun after knocking in its head with the head of the man who had held upside down in his hands. Red Angus went more circumspectly, fighting off the tipsy women and armed footpads who waxed rich in the torchlight gatherings during the long night of the serpent. He rounded up his crews and found them their weapons. Tonight the Stars Revolt. At the hour of the dog, 10 companies of hard-eyed fighting men came out of the shadows of the 10 cobblestone streets that led by twisting tiers to the citadel. They went up the curving stone stairs to the smooth citadel streets and started forward. And then the dictator struck. The sonic beams came first, cutting the front ranks to bloody pulp. Dissentors rayed into action. Men went down silently under the lightning-swift impact of purplish lances. It was a rout. Here, a naked mercenary from Phaelat would flesh his blade in a few necks as he drove in behind a wall of dead flesh. There, a warrior from Kor might take 3 of Stalte's soldiers with him before he touched hands with his ancestors. But the beams and the rays slew in the darkness, and the rabble was driven back. Where Red Angus fought, with an electro-ray cart, sweeping the ring nozzle of his weapon in and out of the shadows, the men of the lower city stood a while. They fought with the ferocity of trapped thoughts, for the pits of Stalte yawned for them. "Hold firm!" roared Tandor, his sword in a sweeping line of grey death where it circled and darted. "Fall back!" cried Angus. "Back to reform! They've trapped us well, the tricky dogs." A man with a bandaged face stood out a moment from the shadows, pointing. He cried, "Half 100 obly to the man who brings down Red Angus!" "Thordad!" shouted Angus, and he knew now the manner of his betrayal. Thordad had seen a chance for reinstatement and had taken it. He had seen the rabble that served Red Angus, and knew the disciplined power of the dictator's guards. He had gone with news of Angus's plans. This trap was the result. Red Angus forgot the others. He sighted the electro-ray carefully. A thin beam of brilliance lanced out. It touched Thordad on face and neck. A headless corpse rolled at the guards' feet as they came forward. Their rush caught Angus and the men with him. It swept them backwards through the streets, rolled up their flanks. It clubbed the center with psionic beams until men screamed in agony of their mashed legs and caved-in chests. Angus fought like a maddened griff. He used the electro-ray like a broom, sweeping it before him. He kicked the 2-wheeled cart ahead, for without the dynamo in the cart, the electro-ray was useless. A sudden rush of guards caught Angus in a maelstrom of cursing, howling men. They hit him and drove him back against the glittering metal collar of one of the black pools, yawning grim and silent in the cobblestone square. They hammered him with sword blades and pounded the cart with metal-headed axes. Angus stumbled and fell. He came up slowly, his back to the cold metal collar of the pool, the ring barrel of the useless electro-ray still in his hands. "It's all over," he told himself, staring at the swords coming for him. "I've failed, and I'll die, and so will Moana and Tandor, and all the rest of this motley crew who tried to pull themselves up by their bootstraps." Angus clubbed with the ring barrel, and a man fell whimpering at his feet. "Come on," the pirate roared. "Here's my last stand, here at the edge of the pool. You're done with Red Angus. See how a free man dies." Angus broke off, eyes wide. The pool. One of the black pools of Kar. The end. Thank you for listening.